This episode is rated M for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of the PFC Entertainment Network or any of the affiliates that make this show possible.
This is the Pure Fury Creations Entertainment Network.
On tonight's show, we look at the latest information around the release of Terrion Arnold and what that means for the Lions. Plus, is LeBron James on the move again in the NBA? We're going to talk about it. And the coach is back this week on the Sports Reel podcast, and it begins right now.
If it's in the headlines, on the first page or the last, it's fair game here on the Sports Reel podcast.
And we welcome you to the real reason why Tuesdays were invented. This is the Sports Reel podcast, live on the PFC Entertainment Network. Along with Tim Sheridan, I'm Jason Clouse. We certainly appreciate you tuning in and being a part of what has become a highlight in a lot of people's week. Tim, I don't know if you're aware of that. I'm sure you are. But listen, part of the reason is going to be rejoining us here on the show tonight because one of our most popular episodes a number of weeks back included something of a surprise. Well, this week, that surprise is back with us for the duration. Tim, would you like to do the honors?
100%. I would love to. Tonight, we would like to welcome back Coach, the man, the myth, the guy who just happened to be absolutely blessed to be born to look just like one of the greatest coaches of all time in the NFL, Andy Reid. We got Coach back on the show. Coach, welcome back to the Sports Reel podcast. Let us know a little bit about yourself. Go ahead, take it away.
It's great to be with you again. I would like to talk to the producer and who put Fat Man up there. I mean, come on. No, Fat Man. Hey, I get it. I understand it. I'm no good-looking guy like you've got there coaching on the sidelines, up there in Detroit. But, hey, you know what? All those cheeseburgers, they got, a little bit of effect on me. That's for sure. No, anyhow, so I go by almost Andy Reid. You can find me on, your local social media, just about anywhere. And I'm sorry. I mean, I know I show up in a lot of feeds and you're like, who is this guy? And I do look like Andy a lot. In fact, I do a lot of commercials with Andy. Big guy, awesome guy. But yeah, it's a blessing. It has been a blessing to be able to do this. I had no idea when I started out that I looked anything like Coach. It was just by chance, by luck. It was my destiny. That's right. Kind of like bringing Mahomes here to Kansas City. A little bit of a destiny, right? Or should I say dynasty? Sorry, dynasty, destiny. It's all very similar, very similar. So I needed an outfit for a Halloween party. And I'm a cheap guy. I got to be able to buy those cheeseburgers. And so I said, well, I've got a closet full of Chiefs gear because I've been a lifelong Kansas City Chiefs gear, even though I didn't grow up or wasn't born in Kansas City. I've been here for over 40 years, and so all that time I've been a Chiefs fan, even before that time. I came from the Cleveland, Ohio area, and so there's really nothing to root for back then. So I might as well pick a team that I liked, and so I picked the Chiefs. But anyhow, so I shaved off a beard. I had a beard, and I'm like, maybe I can pull off an Andy Reid. And so I went to the basement, got some old headset that I had that I used to use for a job when I was answering telephones or something. And I got a clipboard, and I went to the party, and it was a big hit. And so everybody was wanting to take pictures and such. And so that's just how it started. It really is the timing of everything. Timing is everything. In other words, yeah.
It's wild that like the first time that I seen you online, I was like, is that Andy Reid? Like, what is that? Like, you are like truly blessed to look just like Andy Reid. And you said you've done commercials, so you've met Andy Reid then?
Oh yeah, yeah. In fact, first time I met him, he came up to me and he said, "You gonna sing for us?" And I said, "What are you talking about? Coach knows me." Yeah, because I sing opera professionally as well. So I've got some vocal cords in here that I keep under wrap. So yeah, it's actually talking like this, which I don't normally talk like this, has been very helpful, to my vocal cords for singing. I'm like, oh wow, I'm becoming a seasoned singer now.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I do a lot of operas, sing with a professional company here in Kansas City. And so, yeah, he's one of the nicest people that I've ever encountered that has a bit of fame associated with their name. Second nicest that I've ever encountered that has a bit of fame associated with their name is Patrick Mahomes, because I've done some commercials with him as well. Of course, that would involve the State Farm commercials. I mean, they're the real deal. So we're really blessed here in Kansas City, and the fact that I look like him. Of course, Coach has been on the sideline losing weight, so I've been on a diet for a year, and it sucks. It really sucks. And so I told him, I said, "Coach, you're eating too much. I'm going to start sending cheeseburgers and donuts down there and sabotage you." No, he's looking good. So I'm just one size behind him, believe it or not. And I guess if I was behind him, I'd be like 6 sizes behind him. Just super nice guy. In fact, we did a commercial 2 weeks ago for State Farm that'll show up in the fall. And again, Coach is just his comedic effort on the camera is just priceless. And so you'll see some funny stuff for the commercial. I think you'll like it.
I can't wait to see that, and it's cool that you've gotten to actually do that with the state. I mean, we obviously see all the State Farm commercials with Mahomes,
Yeah.
and I was so happy when I saw that he started bringing Andy Reid in on all these commercials because, the comedic timing of all this stuff, and
Yeah.
it's such a cool thing. Like a lot of people down on Kansas City, and it's probably because they built a dynasty. The same thing, we all felt the same way about Tom Brady and the Patriots for a long time. But I stand behind the Chiefs. Like I've said, I have no remorse saying I am a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I've been that way for years since the beginning of this show. So everybody else can piss off. I don't care. Patrick Mahomes is going to be the GOAT one day, and
That's right.
he's going to surpass Brady. But Andy Reid, love that dude. Absolutely love him. Just, everything I've ever watched, man, whether it was documentaries on Disney, going over the season, stuff like that. He's just a down to earth dude. Just a really, really nice dude. And hopefully one day, I'll get a chance to meet him or Mahomes, because I'm a huge fan. Mahomes is my favorite quarterback of all time. That guy.
One of the coolest things about doing a commercial with Andy Reid is to watch. And, that's a gift to me to be able to just watch him move. Now that he's lost weight, he's got a new gait, the way he walks. He's, has knee worked on and stuff. So I've got to change all of that for this season when I get all together. And I'm on, I'm getting a little help. I had to get a little more aggressive. So I had to go to the doctor and, get that thing that everybody's losing weight on. So by the season, I should look pretty good. But the coolest thing is to watch him go up and he shakes everybody's hand, tells them thank you, whether you're the cameraman, whether you're the makeup artist, and it's just really cool to see his personality come out and show that somebody that great, which I do believe he's going to surpass Bill Belichick one of these days. And I mean, gosh, he's only with this weight loss. I think that's really some of the key to doing it is he wants a little bit more longevity, because why shouldn't he? I mean, why shouldn't he want that? But I mean, he really is the real deal, and it's just really great to be around him sometimes.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean that's got to be the one of the
Yeah.
coolest things ever is just be able to spend a little bit of time chopping it up with those guys. But I also saw recently that you got to hang out and do a little bit of stuff with one of my favorite actors, Terrence Howard.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
yeah,
like I loved him in a lot of the movies that he's done, and
yeah.
then even the television shows. How was that meeting him?
Oh my gosh, he was fantastic. In fact, I don't ever let an opportunity go to waste. And Kansas City has become a hub for Hollywood to come here and they're shooting movies because becoming too expensive on the coasts to shoot those movies. So they've been coming to Kansas City. And I was down on the plaza doing some content with a Taylor Swift lookalike and a Ron Burgundy lookalike, which they're great. They look just like him as well. And so I saw that they were filming across the street, and then we saw that it was Terrence Howard. And I missed the first opportunity to meet him. We didn't want to interrupt because that's how we are here in Kansas City. We're kind of polite and nice. And then I saw that they were wrapping it up. And I was leaving, and I ran across this. I mean, literally ran. You should see this fat guy run. People laugh when they watch me run because they're not used to seeing a fat man run across the street at full speed. But I saw him go around the corner, and that's where his trailer was parked. And his rep that was there saw me and Ron Burgundy. We both ran over there, and he said, "Come on down here," because Terrence wanted to meet us. And so I really think that he thought I was coach at first because I was dressed like this and had a FIFA ball and everything. And so, I asked him, I said, it's so funny. Is there a play that you could recommend for this season? And he looked at me and he goes, yeah, retire. So I'm like, Raider fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that always gives it away. Yeah, because, anyhow, no, he just was great. Fantastic. He stood there, talked with us for a while, met my daughter. And he liked my daughter a lot more than he liked me. I mean, I don't know why, but yeah, no, he was just a super nice guy. Again, a lot of these people that you meet in public, a lot of them are pretty nice, and he just happened to be one of those.
Yeah, I mean, he is, absolutely. I mean, his time that he was on Empire and stuff like that, that was one of my favorite shows that I mean, me and my wife binged that thing over and over again. And then we rewatched it again recently, and like his playing Lucius Lyon in that show, I mean, that was phenomenal. He's had a lot of
He's got some
great
pipes
roles.
too.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, that guy can sing. I mean, you listen to Hustle and Flow, like that's him. And if you watch the behind the scenes stuff like that, like he didn't even know it was a rapping movie. Like he's a singer. That guy's got pipes, and like he's smart as hell. Like I got to give him credit.
He's a good looking guy in person
Yeah.
too. I mean, that's not makeup. I mean, he's just a sharp guy.
Yeah, just is awesome. So like you have had like you got to be living the craziest life right now, like going around doing this stuff.
It's been wild. I mean, sometimes it just absolutely surprises me what comes up and what I get to do, like being on Pat McAfee or being on the Sirius NFL with those guys at the Super Bowl. And so I mean, it's just been a really wonderful time, wonderful experience.
Oh yeah, and now you can put the highlight of being on the Sports Reel podcast.
I know, my gosh. I mean, this really capped it all off. That's right. I mean, this was one of my top bucket list items. So, So.
No, but we really do appreciate you coming out with us.
When I'm talking bucket, I'm talking spit bucket, but otherwise, it's still a bucket. you know. Speaking of spit buckets, you should have seen Andy Reid when we did a Snickers commercial together. That poor guy had to take a bite of about 60 bars of and it was, I guarantee it was 110 degrees on that field. And well, he was a trooper in that commercial, that great googly moogly. That's actually me walking off the field at the end of the commercial. So it was a lot of, he's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I believe it. That's just wild. All the stuff that you've got to do, and it's so cool to be like, just. I mean, you got to just be absolutely elated that you've been blessed to look
Yeah.
that much like them and be able to do the stuff that you do now. Because I
Yeah.
mean, it's got to be super exciting. You know what I mean? Meeting
It
all these
is.
people,
Yeah.
doing these commercials, spending these times. You know what I mean? And I know you do a lot around the Kansas City community.
Yeah.
And I see it all the time, and I share it. I know right now you're doing a lot of stuff for FIFA, you know, maybe building up for that. Let us know a
Yeah.
little bit about that real quick.
Oh my gosh, Kansas City has just been absolutely amazing. The people that put this together, they've been working on it for 10 years. And even though we had a little bit of a highway issue where they were building some bridges in between downtown and the stadium, they cleaned it all up. And we, you know, all of us Kansas City people were like, what are they doing? But no, it's been phenomenal. The energy here. I'm going to hang out. We got a game here Friday night. You know, I even bought myself an orange hat so I could be part of the Orange Army. You know, it's just been great. Soccer fans are so different compared to any American sports fans, where we are diehard with our team. They're diehard, but they're cleaning the stadiums and they're hugging each other on the, you know, at the end of the game. I mean, opposite teams. The fans are just, you know, that's great. That's part of the sport, losing. And we're like wanting to throw a brick at the TV or fire a coach or something when something bad goes here. So we got to kind of look at the opportunities that we have here in Kansas City, and or I mean, just in the United States as a whole, and be appreciative of what these fans bring, because that's their heart and soul is football. I mean, they got nothing else. I mean, I guess they got what's that game called where you hit the little ball with the paddle? Uh, uh,
Cricket.
Cricket, yeah. I mean, they
Yeah.
got cricket, but we got a lot of sports here. I mean, if you want to follow sports, this is the place to be here in the United States. We're really blessed, and to see all these fans come to Kansas City and eat our food and go back, and they can't get out of the states because they look 100 pounds heavier than what their passport shows. It's been tough. All of them are trying to get out of the town with ranch dressing too. They're not used to ranch dressing, so
No,
I
I've
see
been
a lot of
seeing that.
videos about that.
Yeah.
But no, I got to tell you, it's been electric. Kansas City really is one of the soccer capitals of the United States, if not the soccer capital of the United States. We have the only dedicated women's soccer stadium in the world right here in Kansas City. And they just announced they're expanding it from 10,000 or 12,000 seats to 18,000 seats because they're selling out every game. The KC Current, this is a phenomenon here in Kansas City. So it's not just FIFA related. We have Sporting Kansas City. Back in the day, we had the Comets, and so we've always been a soccer town here. But man, I'll tell you, it's really something else to see all of this. And guess what? For all the haters out there, who built that stadium, who was part of building that stadium, was Brittany Mahomes.
Yes.
So you know what? Anybody out there that's a hater, that's jealous of Brittany Mahomes being with Patrick Mahomes, well, she does a lot of good with her money, and she helped build that stadium. She's part owner of the Kansas City Current, and I've met her in person too. She's a really, really nice person as well. So.
I believe everything I've ever seen about her and Patrick. I mean, you always hear, I mean, people talk shit online all the time and stuff like that, but the two down to earth individuals that do a lot for the community.
They do.
And I was going to bring that up when you're talking about that. I was like, I believe that's a little bit behind the Mahomes or behind all that. You know what I mean?
Sure are.
But speaking of Kansas City, we can move on to our next topic here, because Kansas City and Detroit have something kind of in common right now.
Oh man,
your Royals and our Tigers are sitting at the bottom of their conferences. So, Jason, take it away. Let's get into some MLB talk.
Well, let's start with what our hometown Tigers didn't do last week, and that was win much. Let's look, see what happens here. Uh, Lost the series to the New York Yankees on Tuesday and Wednesday. 4-3 loss on Tuesday. 4-2 loss on Wednesday. Houston wasn't much better, dropping that series. Now, I actually went to the game on Sunday, and like I was feeling really good about it up until the bottom fell out. Our bullpen is atrocious. Okay. They did pick up a win last night over the Yankees. They're now playing in the Bronx for this series, and then they're going to wrap that up on Wednesday before heading to Arlington and a 4-game set with the Rangers. They do not play on Monday, but then they start a series at home against the Athletics. As things stand right now, they are an abomination. Like I really want to get excited about this, and man, like the week before, they gave us these glimpses of hope, and it's like, oh my God, they're getting things back on track here. And then just as soon as I say that, the bottom falls out, and it's been a roller coaster all year long. Right now in the AL Central, the Tigers are 9 games back. The Royals are 10 games back. So, I mean, on paper, the likelihood of either one of these teams making it to any kind of run to even start flirting with the idea of the postseason, you got to really stretch for it. But like I had said last week, the AL Central is positioned in such a way where even at this stage we're not even to All-Star break yet.
Yeah.
There could be a turnaround here. Now, as far as the Royals go, Coach, what's the overall mood with this team? Is it one of those teams where, when they're winning, things are great and everybody's on the bandwagon and they're waving the flag, but as soon as things go off the rails, they're abandoning ship, they're shit talking, what's that dynamic like?
It's different. I mean, when the next series between Detroit and the Royals, I mean, we're going to call it the battle for the basement, and so, that's too bad. This is literally, I've been Royals fan. I loved the Kansas City Royals and used to go to so many games this literally is the most disappointing team in the history of the Kansas City Royals. This team had so many expectations, so many opportunities. And, I'm a real believer. Of course, these make me believe. Excuse me, I've got to blow my nose there. LIV, okay. That it starts from the top down, guys. Coaching from the front office. I mean, at least in Detroit, your front office has brought you winners. Your front office has done amazing things over the years. And I mean, we've had some winners here in Kansas City, but now with the ownership that we have here, it's bad when the after every series, the Chiefs owner, he's such a nice guy. He sends a sympathy card after every series to the John Sherman. He might even have them postmarked. I don't know, but it's been a real challenge. I mean, Bobby, he's been, he's one of the top 5 players in baseball, and you play down to the level you play with. And we got a lot of challenges, out there. Jack Caglione should have been starting and playing every game from the beginning of the season, but the skipper wouldn't put him in against lefties. You got Salvi Perez, who is one of the greatest catchers of all time. I really think he'll be in the Hall of Fame, but he
should be.
He's batting 202 or something like that. And I mean, he's got 10 home runs. It's beautiful to watch him hit a home run. He's a big guy. But you got to talk to yourself and have a real conversation, looking in the mirror and say, listen, maybe I should let some of these young guys, Carter Jensen, play catch every day and get Jack Caglione where he belongs on first base. They've tried to teach him right field. The guy throws 99 mile an hour, and so he's got a cannon there. And and so it's just been tough to watch this team this year. And yeah, when the team's not playing well, they don't get a good attendance. But when the team's playing well, my gosh, we'll fill that stadium and it'll sound as loud as Arrowhead. This fans really will come out. So all they got to do is put a winner on the field. Last year we had a winner. We won 82 games or something like that. And so what's the difference? They brought the hitting coach back, and boy, we've had people just struggling offensively, leaving so many players on the base. It's been tough. Even the pregame show. I mean, the guy sounds so depressed, talking about the Kansas City Royals. And after the games, every time you listen to this guy and you think he's going to start crying because it's so tough to talk about, because all the talent was there. They just didn't know how to motivate. And I think that's the key issue, is they don't know how to motivate men. And, these guys get up to the plate and, once in a while, throw a bench or something, and do something, get excited, get in somebody's face and kick dirt on their shoes or something. I think that's what this team needs. They're young guys, and somebody just wake them up. It's not all about just being a good person. We want to win. So it's a team full of good people. Welcome to Kansas City.
So you said something there, and you said a lot of high expectations and stuff like that for the team. And we feel that same way here in Detroit, because after the run that they had last year, we all felt really positive going into this season because the team didn't change that much. If anything, I thought it got stronger with the addition of Valdez. You know what I mean? I thought we had the best 1-2 left-handed pitchers in the league. You know what I mean? So I was super excited. And I'm sure Jason felt that same way going into the season. We had a lot of high hopes for this team. And they kind of just come out and they kind of, shit the bed. I mean, all due respect, it's.
We don't even pay attention to the Tigers because we know they're going to lead the division every year. We're going for a wild card. The Tigers have been so good over the last several seasons. And, of course, Cleveland's been right up there with them. But it has been. You remember the old days with Sparky Anderson and George Brett and all those guys going at it. Man, I loved the old Detroit Stadium, where the upper deck was so close to the field, the guy could reach out and hand a home run back. I actually saw George Brett hit a ball out of the stadium, out of that old stadium. If you look it up, he hit it right on top of the roof and bounced out. George Brett, I mean, that's what it tells you about the art of the swing right there. He's not a big guy, although I got to meet him last year. He's one of the greatest. That you talk about a bucket list. Holy cow. That was one of the coolest experiences of my life, to meet George Brett. But yeah, man, those were fun days in baseball. It seems like some of the fun's starting to come back, with Ohtani and you're getting superstars again back in the sport, and that's good to see. It seemed like for 10, 15 years, baseball got a little dry. And it seems like the energy's coming back a little bit. Maybe that's because you're seeing a lot more international people follow, because you've got a lot more international people in the game. And by the way, my Salvi Perez is from Venezuela, so my heart's out to those folks down there dealing with those earthquakes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they've been bad, and all do there a lot of people. A lot of people lost their lives in that, and it's been some crazy earthquakes. So
Salvi lives here in my neighborhood, so he's hardly ever here though.
I believe probably on the road. Baseball's it's a long season, Coach. Long season.
I know. Are we gonna get a strike?
I was going to ask you that. I was going to see what your opinion on this is, because I'll be straight up with you. The one thing before we tackle that, I want to circle back to something that you had said a moment ago, and that is the reemergence of superstars. And it's funny because a couple of weeks back, I said the same thing. When's the last time we've had those handful of players that were almost bigger than the sport. Like you just knew who they were. You may not watch baseball, you may not be a fan of the team or whatever, but when you saw that individual, you knew who he was. He was a professional baseball player. Jeter comes to mind, like he was one of the last ones. But I go back to like Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, and that is what saved MLB from the last strike.
Yeah.
See how I'm going to tie this in.
Who doesn't remember where they were when Mark McGwire hit that home run? I remember exactly where I was. That's I mean, that tells you something about that era of baseball.
It's listen, it took a minute, man. Like it canceled the World Series, the last strike did. And it's like, oh my God, it was on life support when the home run race started. And that, in my view, is what brought that energy back to MLB. And I cannot agree with you more. The last decade has been kind of ho-hum. You know, you see glimpses here and there. Like for us, it was Miguel Cabrera. And then there was Mike Trout. And like they had a little rivalry going for the Triple Crown and all this stuff. That was a shot in the arm. But now we see Shohei Ohtani. And like he is really emerging as the face of MLB.
Yeah, he's a modern day Babe Ruth.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Which is insane when you make that kind of comparison to one of the absolute icons of the sport. Yeah. So I ask you, because I am worried that there's going to be a strike. And I am worried that if there is a long strike, MLB is not going to be able to recover from it. Because I feel like our fan support for MLB, like it's teetering, man. Like it's very circumstantial, not like the NFL. You know, NFL fans are going to go no matter what, no matter who's playing, no matter where it's at. Like they are diehard. MLB fans, by and large, wait for their teams to start winning, much like we just said here.
Yeah.
What is your takeaway? How detrimental do you think a strike will be if that winds up happening at the end of the year?
Yeah, well, I don't think it's going to be a big deal here in Kansas City because we just brought the Halls in to join with John Sherman to build a new stadium that'll be ready by 2032. And so it'll be a downtown stadium. It's going to be phenomenal. And so there's going to be a lot of energy here in Kansas City. So I don't think we're going to be too affected by that. You know, we've put up with a lot of bad baseball here in Kansas City and still support it. I mean, I still wear my blue all the time, and I've got my Royals hat in my car, you know, because you never know when somebody's going to call up and say, hey, let's go to the game. But other cities, you might see some real challenges with this, especially. But, I mean, let's talk about it seriously. I mean, a salary cap is something I think that would help benefit baseball just like it has in football, where it makes more teams competitive. And I think that helps a little bit, but it's cool right now because, you know, you got all this talent on a couple of big teams. You've had the Dodgers, you've had, you know, the Yankees, and of course, Judd is a no-show in the postseason, but during the regular season, he's pretty fantastic. But you know, I think it can have an effect on some markets where they don't have the fans that have seen the ups and downs. A lot of these new fans, all they've known is ups. And so when they start to see something go away, then they could turn to something else. You know, I don't know exactly what that could be, but who knows? Maybe the NBA will get a few more fans again. You know, if I were the NBA thinking of a strike coming, boy, or NHL, I'd be all over the marketing department saying, listen, we got to take an opportunity here. We could switch some fans over to our sport.
Yeah, for sure. And it's funny that you mentioned the NBA because we do have a little bit of news that we're going to touch on here. Eric Mendal has joined us here live on the Sports Reel podcast. Eric, it's great to see you, my friend.
Good to see you too, sir. Nice seeing you again, Coach.
Good
Tim.
to see you too.
Tim, I can't say the same.
I
All right,
don't expect you to.
All right, real quick. Sunday night baseball this week, live on NBC and streaming on Peacock. The aforementioned world champion Dodgers will be hosting the San Diego Padres. 7:20 p.m. is the scheduled first pitch for that game. Let's switch gears real quick. Let's talk.
Hold on, real quick before you do that. I want to bring something up because you guys were just talking about the strike and all that other stuff, and Coach brought up, the salary cap and stuff like that. And we've put out a bunch of stuff online about this, about the possible strike, because I too, Coach, also am in the the side that I think there should be a salary cap. And every time I post something about this, I get a lot of people with a lot of hate saying there shouldn't be one. And the one thing I see in common with all of them, they're Dodgers fans. So y'all can piss off, you know what I mean?
That's right.
Of course, if you're a Dodgers fan, you don't want a salary cap because you don't want to just keep winning.
Or they're Red Sox fans and they're just mad at everything. And, they just want to complain.
Or even Yankees fans, you know what I mean? And Freddie, well, I'm reaching out to you soon. We're getting you back on the show here soon, Freddie. So I know that's our one Yankees fan, or friend of the show. So I've been in touch with them. We'll have him back on soon. But Jason, go ahead and roll. I just wanted to throw that in there.
No, it's totally cool. We do need to get Freddie back on here because he's fun. I enjoy his TikToks.
Actually, I talked to him, Jason, and I told him that you've been wanting to possibly get him on a ball game. As soon as I can get a set schedule, he's 100% down to doing with you. So whenever you can figure out when you guys are doing one and want him on, let me know. I can line it up for you.
Awesome. All right, let's switch gears over to the NBA, and the big news coming out of there is the speculation that LeBron James is going to be leaving the Los Angeles Lakers. And based on the couple of articles that I did read, it seems like a Golden State Warriors has been mentioned an awful lot as a potential landing spot for LeBron. Just kind of crazy to me that he's going to be moving to a different team here. Real quick, when you look at his career in the NBA, 2 stints with Cleveland, 03 to 10, and then 2014 to 2018. In between there, I'll stop in Miami, and of course here with the Lakers. Where does LeBron go here, Eric? Do you see him going to Golden State? Do you see another opportunity elsewhere that's not being mentioned? Could Boston be a destination for him? Or a return to Cleveland?
I think a return to Cleveland. He's getting close to retire and all that. He's going to go back to Cleveland, play maybe 1 or 2 more years, and I can see him retiring. If he goes to Cleveland and they win it this year, he's done. I think he'd hang it up, bring another championship to Cleveland, and had an outstanding career. I think he'd hang it up after that.
No, I totally agree, Coach. I saw you nodding. Is that what you're kind of thinking too?
Well, it makes sense because Cleveland's the only place where he's going to get the send off that he wants, and that means the entire city stopping and saying thank you to LeBron, and that's the only place he's going to get that. If he goes to Golden State, I mean, they'll give him a nice send off, but the type of personality that he is. And so I would expect him that Cleveland has to be the only place that he lands because they're going to give him whatever he wants.
It's true.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tim.
That's right where, my mindset is of what he thinks. And I put a video out about it earlier and, does he go to Golden State? There's been a lot of rumors and I've been speculating about that over the last few months on the show that, him and Steph teaming up to possibly run a championship. Would it be kind of cool to see? Sure, but I mean, is LeBron past his prime? You know what I mean? He can't even flop as well as he used to. He's
Yeah.
getting a little bit older. I know we had a discussion
Yeah.
before the show, Coach. You know, you called him La Flop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm right there with you. He created flopping.
Oh, it's a
He's
French term. I don't
yeah,
know what you're talking about. I was just saying "les flop." I mean,
yeah.
so don't get mad at me.
Yeah,
I don't know anything
no,
about this.
no, that's me. I'll take all the heat when it comes to LeBron because I've
He's got his people that will defend him. I'm telling you
he
what.
does.
You
Trust me.
talk about a generation that doesn't understand basketball. Well, let's go back to the triangle. Let's go back to look at the, back when the 70s when you had Dr. J and build it up from there and see what basketball is now. And it's just a shooting sport now. I mean, and there's no defense. Well, some teams are playing. In fact, I was watching the Knicks play there. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like old school basketball right here. I was actually enjoying that final, watching the way that they played. But yeah, it's not as fun. Basketball isn't any longer. And, of course, MJ is my GOAT,
And that's
followed by Kobe,
oh,
the
I'm right
Black
there. I mean,
Mamba.
that's my 1 and 2. I've said that
Yeah.
on the show here.
Yeah. And then LeBron can have his spot. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'd give LeBron probably 3, to be
Yeah.
honest. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, but he's not above Kobe and he's definitely not above Jordan. We've talked about and this has always been a discussion. And I know I said before the show we'd bring this up. I think it's a generational thing, to be honest, because the most of us on the show, I know Jason is pushing, I think he's getting close. What are you, 78 now, Jason? So Jason's up there in his years. So like he was well into his 40s by the time like Michael Jordan even made a
Right
Oh my
no,
gosh.
but it definitely is a generational thing. We've discussed this a bunch of times. Eric's kind of on that like
It's Jordan. It's
he's Jordan, but he's almost at that age. If he was about a year younger, he would have probably say
I'd
LeBron.
I'd say
Oh my
2
gosh.
years.
Yeah,
Was there anything more fun to watch back in the day than Lambeer and Joe Dumars?
Oh,
and,
gee, we brought this up a million times, Coach. Like,
come on, man, that was some
yeah.
fun basketball to watch. He was the villain. I
He
mean,
was.
him with that plastic face mask that he had on. Everybody hated that guy.
Yeah.
But man, they were fun to watch with Rodman and that point guard that they had there. That
Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah, yeah, that was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, that was the bad boys, and that's the era that like I grew up in, and of course
Yeah.
I grew up as a Jordan fan. I mean, to me, the greatest of all time, and watching him play and getting the opportunity to go down and watch him play live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean,
Oh,
against
wow.
the Pistons at the Palace. You know what I mean, like
Yeah.
I got to see that the '96 team go off and just destroy the Pistons at the Palace, and at the time, like I didn't care they beat the Pistons because I was a huge Bulls fan at the time because Jordan. You know what I mean, you had Jordan,
Yeah, right.
Rodman, Pittman, Kukoc, all those guys. Like it was a hell of a team and so exciting. So yeah, LeBron doesn't have anything on Michael Jordan. They couldn't even play the same game. LeBron's too soft. I hate to say it. But like where was I going with all that? I lost my train of thought. Oh no, LeBron. We're still talking about LeBron. So LeBron, like going to Golden State, like I could see it happening. He wants to chase one more ring. He's always, I mean, he was the creator of the super team, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So going to team up with other people. But I think the best path for him, to be honest, would be to go back to Cleveland and finish out his career there because I would give him a lot of respect for that because I've always been, super excited when I see guys who start their career somewhere go finish their career there. I mean, we're in the midst of that right now with Verlander, where he started his career here and now he's here and we don't know what's happening with him, but he's going to
old.
Yeah, he's going to finish his career here, but he's also been linked, and I've been hearing stuff, and it's probably just smoke, you know what I mean? But possibly to the Pistons, you know what I mean? They're moving money around right now, and it is a possibility. It's not something, and I had to say right now, I do not want to see LeBron wearing a Pistons jersey. That's the last thing I want to see.
He won't come to Detroit. He's not going to go.
Yeah. So Eric, like talking about LeBron, where do you think he ends up? What do you think he does?
I said it. I said Cleveland. He's going to go home to Cleveland and he's going to retire there. If they ever have a decent team, if you put him in there in the mix, he might be able to bring you to that next step in the Eastern Conference because, you got New York and all that, and then you got the Pistons, and you got to watch out for Orlando if they stay healthy. But I think he could, if he goes to Cleveland, they could compete with most of the teams for the East, and I feel they can make a deep run. And if he wins it, I think that would be his. Hey, this is it. I'm done. I brought another championship to Cleveland. I'm out of here. I've been in the league since 03. So yeah, he's been in the league for a long time. It's time to hang it up. In my opinion, I think that's what he would do.
I think that's about where he needs to be, Cleveland. I think that's the smartest choice, and I think if people can talk to him, I think that's where he needs to end up. One, like you said, it's a strong team.
But like you said too, Golden State, it's in the same state. Why would he want to leave? Why would he want to move again? If he's going to stay there forever, that also makes sense too.
The guy's a mover. I don't think he cares about moving. He's probably got houses all over this damn country. He probably still has a house in Cleveland, to be honest.
I would imagine he would.
Yeah.
I've been to his house in Cleveland. Well, I wasn't in the house. I stood outside and took a picture outside the gate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's got a house in Cleveland. I could see him end up there, and it's a team that was a playoff team last year with Harden there and everything else. You had
made it
LeBron
to the
to
Eastern
that.
Conference, so yeah.
You could win
and
another ring in
the
Cleveland.
city will embrace him, and that'll be a great NBA story for the season. They'll play on that all season long.
Yeah, 100%.
100, and I think that's what he should do, because one. Yeah. That city, they have an okay baseball team. They have a pretty good basketball team. Their football
baseball team's better than ours right now.
From a marketing standpoint and from a legacy standpoint, I think that he can undo a lot of the bad feelings, ill feelings people have for him if he goes in there and just looks like he's having a fun time and does good things for the city like he always has. And I think it could help his legacy.
You think so? And let me ask you that, because I know he's gotten a lot of heat because he left Cleveland the first time, but then he came back to Cleveland, then he left Cleveland again, so people are hating him again. Do you think that if he went back there, people would just completely embrace him again, or would people hold a little hard feelings against him for leaving twice?
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I think they'll just welcome him back. Absolutely. I think in fact, there'll probably be some type of ESPN special where he announces it live on air where he's coming, going. So
the decision part 2.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like the Dream Team part 2, So.
Yeah. True.
I didn't even think of this aspect of it until Coach worded it in such a way where he gets that send off that he wants or thinks that he deserves. And then the more I thought about it, and just, take nothing away from what the guy's done on the court. He's going to go down as one of the greatest of all time. He's going to be on a lot of people's Mount Rushmores, and bless your hearts. Okay. You're entitled to your opinion. But if it seems like he's, throughout the course of his time in the NBA, he has tried to write his own script, and and that's why we see so much movement. He wants to be a winner. He wants to win the NBA title, and I totally understand that. Every athlete should have that aspiration, right? Or otherwise, what are you doing? But at this stage in his career, and I feel like, there has been significant damage done to his legacy because of how he moves, how he operates on the court. And coming back to Cleveland, his hometown, he gets to write his own script for the most part. And to be embraced, like I feel like he will be. Now, there will be a contingent of Cleveland fans that have completely written him off. Like they are done with him. They want no part of him. But Cleveland is clamoring so bad. The city of Cleveland wants a winner so bad. They will look at LeBron James' return as the second or third coming of the savior of the city. And that's what I feel like his ego, like that's what he wants. So it would not surprise me. I was more surprised about the Warriors thing. I was like, oh my God, come on. Like, do you really want to make that move and then be subjected to the scrutiny is coming? I guess if the paycheck is big enough, you don't give a shit one way or the other. But retiring in Cleveland will give him, in his mind, that throne that he feels like he deserves. Like he will be regarded as arguably the most popular person from the city of Cleveland, Ohio. And I feel like that's what he wants.
What, it won't be Marty Schottenheimer?
Oh,
This close.
yeah.
No, and while we're still on NBA real quick, I want to bring up the fact with the Pistons right now because last week they let Stewart go, and I feel like they gave him away for 3 future first round picks,
Well,
which
they made
are
a trade.
3
They gave
future second round picks.
Yeah, but they made a trade and gave 2 away.
They gave 2 away to get Isaiah Joe, which that guy's a shooter. I'm pretty excited about that.
I like that a lot.
He's not a starter, but he is a shooter. And then I saw that, they might waive Robinson now that they have Isaiah Joe. So we'll have to see where they go. But this is a move that I felt like was a move to open up money to either possibly sign Duren. But from what I'm hearing, Duren wants to sign and trade. And he's out meeting with Sacramento and the Lakers, over the next couple of days. So that might be a landing spot for him eventually. But I don't know what they're doing to try to they're freeing up money right now. I was sad to see Stewart go. Eric, what are your thoughts on Stewart being traded away for? Arguably not a lot, but they did get Isaiah Joe in the process.
Well, you're making cap space to go for a big name, and unfortunately, I wanted to get Kawhi, but he's heading back to the Raptors, so that's out of the picture and all that. But there's definitely still some other players on the board you could get. So yeah, them getting rid of Stewart does suck because I didn't like beef stew and all that, but you're making room cap space to get a big name, and that's what you're going to go for. And the off season's still happening and all that, and a lot of it's going down. And you got Brown from the Celtics that wants out and all that. It sounds like he's not a bad one to go get. So there's definitely a lot the Pistons can still do to upgrade their team. And if Duren wants out, then that no team is going to give him the max contract he wants. So he's trying to play leverage right now and get more money and all that. But I don't think he's going to go anywhere.
You don't think he's going anywhere?
I don't think so.
Do you think he's going to stay?
I think he's trying to play leverage because he wants a little bit more money in his pocket and all that. But it's like, dude, you got the best thing you could honestly have here with Cade and the pieces we're starting to add. And if we get another big name in there, I think we would have a real shot next year.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's going to go somewhere. It all depends. We got the Jersey Grow in the chats. He said the Pistons are blowing up here. The whole team. They're going to trade Duren for Sabonis and upgrade the offense doing it. Hey, as long as they upgrade, I'm happy. You know what I mean? Like I want to see an upgrade. Duren, he was a little bit of a disappointment in the playoffs. Regular season, he was fantastic.
100% disappointed in the playoffs.
Yeah,
He showed up for 2 games.
I mean, but at the same time, he is 22 years old. I mean, going on 23. He's young. That could be something that changes. Jason, do you have any thoughts on Stewart getting traded away, the moves that they've made over the last week, or their positioning for what they're trying to go after? Or do you think LeBron ends up as a Piston?
No, I tell you what.
Granted, he would be a great fit, but no.
I don't know how. It hurts my soul to even think about LeBron James being a Detroit Piston. It just bothers me to no end. So I'm not even entertaining that thought. I'll drive myself nuts. I don't know what the fuck the Pistons are doing right now, and I don't want to. I'm trying to reserve judgment until we get more of a definitive idea of what they're looking for. I mean, we have one of the best players in the league right now with Cade Cunningham, and this dude has demonstrated, that heart and the desire and the talent that our most successful versions of this team have demonstrated. With Isaiah, with Billups at that time, and I just want the Pistons to be good. I want them to continue to improve. So if they're making these moves to make that happen, I'm here for it. I'll wait until I see what winds up happening after they're done shuffling the deck and moving this guy and moving that guy. And we'll go from there. because there's just it's too much right now. It's too much for me to even wrap my head around, if I can be honest with you, because I'm so focused on the Tigers right now, and I'm focused on what's going on with Larkin and the Red Wings. Like, I really haven't been paying super close attention to what the Pistons are doing.
I'm with you there, Jason. I've been paying more attention to the Red Wings and what's going on there. So, I mean, you can discuss that in a little bit.
Actually, if you guys want to move on to that real quick before we, end up in the NFL, which we have a lot of NFL talk to go to. If we
don't
want
need to hear about how bad Patrick Holmes is and how he's going to tear his ACL in week 3. We don't need to hear about it, Tim. Like, just stop. It's getting old. It's getting old, man.
That'll be impossible with the bionics that I had installed in that.
Yeah, that was the other leg, not the one leg. You flabbergasted again? You don't know what to do?
Little vibranium, little titanium. He's going to be good to go.
Coach got them all hooked up, brother. He's going to be fine. But before we move on to the NFL, if you guys want to touch on the NHL right now, because there is a lot of talk with Larkin, and I know that he, added some more teams to his trade list that he'd be willing to trade. But then news came out this week that Yzerman said that he's not going to be handcuffed by Larkin.
No, he's doing the best thing for the team, and that's what his statement was, and that's what he needs to do, and all that. And in my opinion, it sounds like Larkin might be putting on the wing jersey again next season, because it doesn't sound like he's in too much of a hurry to trade him. You trade away one of our goalie prospects, one of the best ones, to get a first-round pick and all that, and now he's what? 2-3 years down the road, you got a prospect. You didn't get someone right now, but are you trying to get, you got Dylan Larkin's old college roommate that plays for the Blue Jackets, one of the top defenders, wants out of there. Can Yzerman make a trade? Can Larkin make that call? Be like, hey, don't come here because this guy ain't all in. But if him and Yzerman can rebuild that relationship, and you can go get that guy, would that change Larkin's, aspect on wanting to be here? And I think that would, a lot, because then that you're showing Larkin that, hey, I'm here to win. I'm here for the best thing for the Red Wings, and you're showing them you're not afraid to go get players.
Eric, let me ask you this. And this is on the heels of what we're dealing with Tarek Skubal and the Detroit Tigers. This the business side of the sport is overshadowing, and I realize the NHL is in the off season right now. Okay, I get that. But at the same time, I don't feel like things of this nature need to be broadcast all over the world for everybody to know the inner workings of what's going on. And it winds up becoming a pissing contest between two sides that, want the best for their individual stance in this, but at the same time, save face in the public view. So let me ask you this. Even if they were able to work something out and Larkin remains with the Red Wings, are you going to have a different opinion fanfare-wise for him, or will you just be happy that he remains in Detroit?
I don't know if my opinion would change, because, I sat there and thinking about it. I'm like, okay, who's the one player that this just goes to me, trying to really think about this. And I was like, okay, so what? Well, let me put this in a different perspective. What if Calvin requested a trade, and then whoever our GM was, and patched things up, said, hey, I'm gonna go get a guy now, and do you want to stay? I think I'd rather see Larkin stay, because he is still a good player, and it's like, if Yzerman can get him some pieces and build this team up like it should be, I don't think Larkin would want to leave. Why would you want to leave where your backyard, because you grew up in Waterford, Michigan, not far from Detroit, where your hometown team was? Yeah, granted, I get you're a Maple Leafs fan and all that, but still, that was your hometown team, and I think he likes being here. I just think he was sick of losing. He's sick of waiting for help. He doesn't want to go through another rebuild. And in hockey, yeah, okay, he's turning 30 this year. Most of your prime's gone. Like most of your prime years are gone. So it's like he wants to win, and he got that taste as he won the gold medal with the USA, and he had such a chemistry with those players. So he knows what it's like to be on a winning team. And he's like, man, my whole stint here has nothing's happened. He's like, he's been through a rebuild. So I see his point of wanting to go somewhere and win. He wants to get his name on that Stanley Cup. And that's one of the best things about that trophy is your name gets engraved in that trophy. He wants to leave his legacy if it's either in Detroit or somewhere else. So if Steve Yzerman can go ahead.
Do you think we would be having this conversation if the Olympics hadn't happened when they did and they didn't win the gold medal? Because do you feel like his whole mindset changed after the Olympic break?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably because he got a part of a winning team. You look at that team and who was playing on it. That team was stacked of great NHL players. NHL players. So he was on a winning team. He had all that chemistry and all that. So if the Olympic break didn't happen and they didn't win it, we might not be having that conversation, but we also might be because he really, say they did win second, you still made it to the gold medal game. You still got there. So maybe that whole Olympic break did change his mindset. And that's not a bad thing because he took the experience that he got and he's trying to further what he wants in life. That's what we all try to do. So I'm not mad at him. He wants to trade and all that because we're going on year 8 of the Yzerman plan, year 8. And it's like in Tampa, you did it in 3. What's going on? Why do we need 5 more years and we're starting at the bottom of the barrel again? What's going on?
Right.
What are you doing? Like you traded, we had Bertuzzi. That was a great forward. You traded him. Like you traded Anthony Mantha. That's still producing in Pittsburgh, still playing great. Why did you have to trade those pieces? Why couldn't you just add pieces to complement them? And we could be having a conversation of we were just in the Stanley Cup or we were just in the playoffs for 3 years in a row. We're finally back there. But Yzerman wanted to blow it up and do what he wanted to do, and it's taken way longer than us Detroit fans are ready for.
Yeah, Yzerman made that comment. He's not going to be handcuffed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, essentially, you are. Like if you want this to go a certain kind of way, you're going to have to meet in the middle somewhere. Mm-hmm. You're just going to have to. How bad do you want Dylan Larkin to remain your captain on this team?
If he stays with the Red Wings, I don't know if that C will be on his jersey.
Oh, I don't think so.
I think it will go to Sider. I think it will go to someone else. Unless Patrick Kames comes back and you like, hey, you want to be captain for a year? Like that'd be a good leader, Mm-hmm. But we can all do this what ifs and all that. Like if the Bears were a good organization, they would have drafted Patrick Mahomes, and we wouldn't have to hear fucking Tim talk about the Kansas City Chiefs all the time and how they're so great. Would he be different if he was in Chicago? Probably not, because that'd be an in-division rival.
10.
Just saying.
Oh, man. Well, we are certainly keeping a very close eye on the latest negotiations between the Red Wings and Dylan Larkin. Obviously, a source of contention for us in these parts. A lot of moving and shaking going on elsewhere in the NHL, trades and things of this nature. I know we want to get into the NFL portion of the show. We have a lot to talk about here, especially centered around the Detroit Lions. Anything else you want to throw in there about the NHL, Eric?
Eric has actually stepped away. I think he
Jesus. I wasn't looking at the monitor. Sorry.
Or I made BLTs for dinner and he saw them coming in and he smelled that bacon and he can't resist. So he had to disappear to go get BLTs. Who knows what he's doing right now? Or he's on a beer run. Who knows? I don't know. It could be one or the other because there is no beer sitting in front of me. So maybe he's going to grab a beer out of the fridge. I'm not quite sure. But in that instant, NHL, Larkin, I don't know what's going on. It sounds like Yzerman's not going to be handcuffed, and maybe Larkin stays here this year unless they can get a favorable trade for him. Who knows if that's possible or what he's willing to do. I'm not a believer in that team currently. Love the Wings. Don't get me wrong. I grew up, 25 straight seasons to the playoffs. love that team. Iserman has not proved himself yet, and I just not a big fan of ownership. And we've said that over the last 4 or 5 weeks. The Illiches suck. And I'll stand by that statement. I don't care how many people try to beat me up over it. But if Mr. I still ran these teams, we wouldn't be having these discussions. But since the son is running those teams, we're having these discussions every week. And I'm about over it until they can prove that they can make some moves to actually make these teams better. But in that aspect, let's move on to some NFL news this week, and it's a bit of news that I know as a Kansas City Chiefs fan, and I know Coach can get behind this. It's something that we're used to kind of hearing, and that's some of our players getting in trouble. And this week, it came out that Terrion Arnold has been released from the team because currently he's facing 4 felony charges for robbery and kidnapping and a bunch of other stuff. Now he is out on bail currently, and he didn't have to wear an ankle monitor, but apparently, they're trying to go back after him to get that ankle monitor put on him because now he has been released by the Lions. But this whole case, Jason, has, looking deeper into it as I've been reading to it. And I was talking about this last night on Catching Up with Cody. So if you get a chance, head over to Catching Up with Cody on, either Spotify, YouTube, watch that episode. We got pretty deep into this whole thing last night when I was on his show last night. But this whole case, Jason, it's a little weird, to be honest, because the defendants in this case, not Terrion himself, but the other people that were involved in it, have changed their stories multiple times. And it's also kind of funny to me that all of a sudden that they've waited till almost right before training camp started to actually come after him with these charges. Now, I'm a believer in when there's smoke, there's fire. You know what I mean? There's a little
Sure.
bit of truth to everything, So was he involved in this? Possibly. I'm not going to go out on and say that he wasn't, or he was. You know what I mean? It's innocent until proven guilty. But when there's smoke, there's fire. There's got to be something. He has to have some level of involvement with this. I know me and Amy were talking about this earlier, Jason, and she's not a believer that he was fully involved with it. But at the end of the day, he was still released by the team, so that's an aspect that the team has to deal with now. But what are your thoughts on this whole case, Jason?
It's weird. It's the whole thing is weird. When I first heard this some time back, I'm like, okay, let's. What is really going on here? And like you said, and that's the funny thing about, especially with social media, because people, they want to expand the narrative, put their little seasonings on it, and it winds up blowing up way more than what it really is. However, given the circumstances and what he's being charged with, I went and pulled up Sporting News real quick just to see if there was any updates other than he has been released on $1 million bond, placed under house arrest at that time. I don't know if that has been altered. But during the course of the day yesterday, receiving the news that the Lions had released him, that did not shock me. I kind of felt like that was coming, and I do feel like Arnold is involved in some way, shape, or form. The burglary part of this, from my understanding, it was him trying to retrieve his property. I don't know what all was involved in that. I don't know what the value is. I mean, it's neither here nor there. As details of this case start to emerge, it's going to be real interesting. And you're right, the stories are changing, and that is going to be that's going to be a big thing to overcome for the prosecution. So it's going to be interesting, and I'm really curious to see what happens here, because if this guy is convicted, he's looking at life in prison, and it's just crazy. It's crazy to think that he would have gotten himself wrapped up in something that would subsequently end his career in the NFL and then send his ass up the river for the rest of his life. Like, that is crazy to me.
No, I'm like,
All I gotta say is one thing.
go ahead.
OJ didn't do it. He didn't do it.
Yeah. And the only thing I got to say about Arnold is what he said to Willis. What you talking about, Willis?
Exactly. Mark my words. Mark my words, though. Sorry about this, coach. He's going to end up in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Who,
That's
Arnold?
right.
Yeah, 100%. If they took Deshaun Watson,
Absolutely.
they're going to take. They're like, dude, we don't believe that. Come on,
Cleveland.
you're a first round
Exactly.
pick. Come on.
No,
That's why I didn't want
100%.
to release Rice, because I knew he'd end up in Cleveland in like in 2
Exactly.
seconds.
Yeah, but eventually he ended up back with the Chiefs, even if they
Yeah.
released him, coach. But at the end of the day, it's kind of funny because, I've been saying all week long because Andy Reid, he is a big believer in second chances. We saw that, what I mean?
He's right
And they
here.
allow
We know
people to
that.
come back. I wouldn't be surprised if these things clear and Arnold ends up in Kansas City.
Yeah, that's
Because
true. He could end
if
up there.
anybody could turn around a player, it's Andy Reid. I mean, look what he's done with Kareem Hunt. I mean, Kareem Hunt is freaking awesome now. After a few years off, let him come back. Like, excited to see him back with the Chiefs, even after his stint away from the Chiefs. But
The only one that never bounced back was Ray Rice.
yeah, I mean,
That's
that's
the only one that didn't bounce back.
yeah. Or there's another name out there, but we won't bring him up on the show that never bounced back after a little stint in prison because he never made it out of prison.
Well, yeah, you can't bring up that.
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
He
We
actually
won't
did
do
it.
The only one that doesn't get second chances with me is a burger joint. You mess up a cheeseburger once, that's it. I'm done with you. I write you off. I
fair.
wipe the dust off my shoes and say, "See you later."
Yeah, no.
It's fair. It's fair
That's a fair statement. But coach, have you read up anything on this Arnold case yet, or have any opinions on it?
I don't, but I know that there's a lot of owners out there that like to win, and they can
true.
look past some of those things. We've had a few of that. I mean, when we do a contract here in Kansas City, I think an ankle monitor is part of the contract. I mean, so we've had some problems here, and the saddest thing about the NFL is, these types of cases seem to get all the attention. There's a lot of domestic abuse and things that are happening in the NFL, and those all get kind of, just pay a little money to somebody, it seems like, and they disappear. So
Yeah, they get brushed under the rug there. And,
yeah. So
kind of hidden.
yeah, I think every team has their way of dealing with that, and I think having a coach like Andy Reid here in Kansas City it makes a good opportunity for rehabilitation. Back into, except for Kadarius Toney, we couldn't do anything with that kid.
No, God, we don't even bring up his name on this show. Gee, like that guy. I still have nightmares about that guy playing for the Chiefs. Like, geez, like, let him go. He just pissed me off.
Yeah,
like,
he's a
didn't
rapper
know.
now or something, I think.
Yeah, that's where
He should
just
be
needs to-
wrapping boxes for Amazon is what he should be doing.
Yeah. He was freaking horrible. Like, hated that guy. But yeah, on the aspect of that, I mean, you bring up Andy Reid, and he is a very forgiving individual that likes to give guys second chances, and bless his heart for that. You know what I mean? And most of the time it works out. You know what I mean? People clean up. We're talking about Rashee Rice there for a second. He has a few run-ins where he kind of keeps messing up. How are we feeling about Rice heading into this season?
Yeah, I was on the bandwagon of just let it go, let him go. I mean, after that the second incident, but then you read a little bit more about that. The media like to get us all hyped up and emotional, but he was going to serve the 30 days regardless. He just got to serve it early, and now it's out of the way. And so it's a terrible thing that he did. And fortunately, there wasn't any buddy that couldn't come back from whatever happened to them, physically. So that's just something that we seem to have to deal with over and over. I think part of the problem is, and that is that coach is sometimes too nice. Our organization sometimes is too easygoing, and it seems to be that some of these players, you wonder why the marketing team or something doesn't sit these players down and say, guess what? We're driving you to every practice. We're going to give you a driver. You can have a car anytime you want. Make sure that they take care of themselves. But, it's not just them. I mean, you hear it every time you're out driving on the highway. You hear these guys souping up their cars and revving them up and the motorcycles that are out there. So it's not just players having problems like Rasheed had. I mean, it's our whole society that has a problem with out there misusing vehicles out there on the roadways.
No, I mean, 100%. And that, I mean, brings it right back to the point. And I wanted to bring this up. I mean, you brought up the whole domestic violence problem inside the NFL and stuff like that. And I'm wondering how many of these cases actually get just, pushed aside if the player stays in the state that they play for. You know what I mean? Right now, Terrion's down in Florida. He's facing all these charges in Florida. But if this is something that happened in Detroit, would they just kind of wash it away? You know what I mean? Or vice versa.
Tampa Bay.
Or yeah, I mean, if he was signed with Tampa Bay, it would just kind of like disappeared because I mean, was anybody hurt in this whole thing? I'm not sure. What did the Zebra Crew say? Is that Neck Tim is going to ask Andy if he knows where Taylor Swift's wedding really is. Do you know where Taylor Swift's wedding really is?
I believe they've already been married.
Oh, you believe it? Okay, that's kind of what I've heard.
I think they're setting up Madison Square Garden for a party.
That could be. I keep hearing that July 3rd. July 3rd, something's supposed to be going on at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get my +1 invite, so I don't have any insight into that. But I just, you see Mahomes get that haircut cleaned up and everything. I got last week or so, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're not already married because they would want to keep that hush hush. I didn't ask Coach about it when I was doing the commercial. Because I know he wouldn't say anything anyhow, but
and I expect that
pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I love having Taylor Swift as a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs. I think it's cool.
And I'll bring that back up in a minute because I want to bring that up, but I want to circle back real quick to the Terry
come on
thing.
You guys got Eminem up there, so we can have Taylor.
Hold on. Are you comparing Taylor Swift to Eminem?
Well, I do like M&Ms. By the way, the candy coating on an M&M was created right here in Kansas City, just in case you want to know.
How does this dude know so many fucking facts about Kansas City? This is ridiculous.
Because he lives in Kansas City, man. I mean,
I live in Michigan. I don't know everything about Michigan. Neither do you.
I know a lot. Okay.
The fuck you do.
I know a lot.
Know a lot of bullshit.
And yes, we can compare because Taylor Swift, Jason, is the closest thing to royalty we have here in the United States.
Oh, so we've got Gracie Hunt.
Yeah, that's very true. But going back real quick, I'll revert back to the Terry and Arnold thing because my, awesome co-host Jason and my not so awesome co-host Eric has not gotten to give their opinions on the Terry and Arnold thing yet.
He's innocent.
Eric, why don't you give us your opinion?
He's innocent. He's innocent. I told you.
Okay,
so
Eric,
I'm kidding. That's not real.
No, go ahead. Give your
idiot. You fucking motherfucker. What my intake is my take on is what are you doing, dude? You're drafted in the first round of the NFL draft to one of the better teams, the last couple of years. You had a very good chance to be one of the better corners, and you piss it all away because you lost $200,000 and blah blah blah. That to you, that's chump change, and you didn't even let the authorities get into it and investigate it. You're like, oh, I'm just gonna get my boys and we're gonna just go kidnap the people and get our money back. When you kidnap the wrong people and you pistol whipped them, you kidnapped the wrong people. That's what I heard, and I kind of can believe that. But it's like you had the life in the palm of your hand and you ruined it. Now you're facing so much jail time, from possibly life. I don't think that's going to happen anymore. But your chance to bounce back is only going to be in Cleveland. That's my opinion. Honestly, Cleveland is they take people like that. I think that's where he's going to go. I don't think other teams are going to take him.
Now you've got the Raiders do the same thing.
See,
That is true.
See, I'm already writing the script.
Yeah. And the NFL, we already know, is very much scripted. But Jason, your thoughts on Terrion Arnold?
Eric's, his thing, the way he started his thing was exactly what I was going to say.
He didn't do it. He never did it.
No, not that part.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Like, what are you doing? Why are you getting yourself involved in this bullshit? That's the obviously we don't know all the backstory. We don't know what really went on, but on the surface, this thing is so much fueled by ego, so much fueled by a lot of self-serving emotion and thought and motivation. And it's like, did you think you were just going to bulldoze your way through this thing and nothing was going to happen? This ain't the movies, Jack. And especially in this day and age when everybody will run and report on every single thing, especially if you are somebody of notoriety. And make no mistake, I have no doubt that the way this dude presented himself, he was somebody. Even if you didn't know who he was, the way he carries himself, you knew he was somebody important. In this case, a National Football League player. And he's an idiot. He's an idiot for getting himself involved in this bullshit. And it could cost him way more than a couple $1 million contract to play football for a living. He is being charged with 8 felony charges here. 8. If he is convicted on 7 of the 8 of these, or 6 of the 8 of these, we ain't going to see him ever again. I'll tell you that, especially if they choose to use him as an example, that it doesn't matter who you are, who you play for. The law is the law. You are not above it. And he could wind up getting the wrath of that.
Let's look at this. This is the NFL, and we had a wide receiver who killed somebody in Las Vegas, and he was getting ready to be released, and all these NFL teams were talking about, who might sign him. So, there's a history of that, just because the talent is there if he's got the talent. But, I think a lot of this goes back to the NIL in college. And these guys are now coming into the NFL. They don't need the money. They don't need the problem. They don't need the headaches. And then, they've already got the money, so they've surrounded themselves. You look at what happened to Rice. He had 3 guys that could have told him, hey, buddy, you should probably stick around and make sure that this is all taken care of and legit. And none of those guys, they're all running away, with him from the scene of an accident. And so, it all matters. Who your friends are and who's speaking to you in your ear. Somebody could be have gotten him really hyped up and said, yeah, let's do this. And, and you listen to those folks because in the moment you're making emotional decisions. And it's unfortunate, but, can he be, if he did do all of this, can he be rehabilitated? Sure. But I think that these players, there are plenty of players out there that would like to have that one shot at the NFL. And so I think sometimes bringing some of these players back gives a bad representation of what that might mean, especially if they do it again.
No. You said something very interesting here, and it echoes something that I said a couple of weeks ago when we got into a conversation about the NIL and whether it was a good idea or not. Because Tim and I, we both have kids who are student athletes, and they're good at their respective sports. And our personal takeaway on what we think about the NIL. And I said, look, you're setting a bad precedent here because you're taking, you're throwing money and prestige and this, that, and the other thing at these student athletes. It disqualifies their sense of common sense because now they're living in fantasy land where they walk on water. Yeah. not every case, but then you see something like this with Arnold is like, this is a prime example of what I was talking about or what I was trying to illustrate, that this could be a thing, because it just seems like he's not living in reality. He's living in his own manufactured world. And look, you get money, you get prestige, you get fame, like that. That does happen. We hear it all the time. But at the same time, and I wanted to ask Eric and Tim this: if you were the Detroit Lions, would you have, if you had the power to make the call, would you have cut him?
Yes. I don't know what we're talking about. Tim asked me if my chest was hairy, and I got distracted. Definitely not what happened. I just came up with that on the fly.
If you guys had the power, it was your job, would you have cut Terry and Arnold?
100%. 100%. One, you got to get that heat off of you. Two, I mean, he's facing 8 felony charges, and like I said, where there's smoke, there's fire. He's going to get charged with something regardless. So he's going to spend a little bit of time, whether it's the full, I mean, he's getting charged life in prison. You know what I mean? Whether he's going to serve all of that, who knows? Even if he doesn't get charged at this point, it's so close in the season. He's going to be wrapped up in these legal battles for a while, and then you're going to be dealing with the NFL, because I'm sure the NFL is going to strike down on him with suspensions and everything else. So at this time, you need to protect yourselves, and you need to sign somebody, because right now the Lions are looking at a very, very limited secondary, and they need to add pieces. Now, where are they going to find pieces? I have no idea. Before the Chiefs re-signed L'Jarius Sneed, I said the Lions needed to go after him. I'm glad the Chiefs got him back, but at the same time, I thought that would be a big, nice pickup for the Lions, because we needed that help in the secondary. And when he played for the Chiefs, he was he was shut down. He was a shutdown corner for them, and he also has a possibility of playing not only safety but corner. So he is a two-way. He's a two-way player there who can play both of those positions. So I thought that would have been a big pickup. But at the same time, I'm excited he's back with the Chiefs. I'm sure Coach is also excited that Sneed is back with the Chiefs.
Heck yeah. That means Art of Barbecue is going to bring back the KC takeaway, his signature sandwich, baby.
Yeah,
100%. I'm all excited about that.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have been mad if he would have came to the Lions either. But now they're really in a hard spot where you're looking at that. So, but at the same time, cutting him right now to not have to deal with this, you free up some cap space. I think it's freeing up about $4 million in cap space, so you got a little room to kind of add some depth to that secondary. So I would 100% have cut him for that alone. Not only just getting the heat off of the Lions organization for having a player who's facing 8 felony counts, but just for the fact that it's so close. Training camp's about to start up. You need to make moves, and you want to get away from that. And like I said last night, I'm catching up with Cody, and in my video, I've never been the biggest fan of Terrion Arnold. He had more pass interference calls than he had interceptions. So let's move on from him now. It was a not so great.
That's a number one. That's like,
what's that?
That's like I get he had more pass interference calls than interceptions, but like, he was the number one corner. So like, yeah, he was getting beat and all that. But to answer Jason's question is, I guess I had a meeting with him first. I would have had Dan. If I was Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, I'd be like, hey, come in, let's talk. Because what I heard is that, like, hey, you're going to be on house arrest. You're going to have a tether. You can go to games. You can go to practice, but you got to be home and all that. So that was just going to give him the opportunity to lock in and focus on football, which we needed. And maybe that would have given him the chance to turn his life around. Like, hey, these guys are giving me another opportunity. I can't mess it up. I've already done something horrific and stupid, but these guys are going to believe in me and give me a second chance. I need to show them that this is what I want. But also, I get the point of releasing him, because that is a big headache when you're just trying to focus on football.
Yeah.
But in reality, you had not a lot of secondary help. So you're letting someone go that just had surgery not that long ago, that could have been maybe a little bit better than he was last year. So I guess it was, a double-edged sword for me. Like, you needed the secondary help, but you also don't need that headache in your locker room.
Yeah.
But also, he did get along. He did bring good chemistry in the locker room, and a lot of people like St. Brown liked him a lot. Like everyone really liked him, and so I was like, he must have been good in the locker room. So it's just a catch-22, man. Like you had your life by the balls and you messed it up, and now you're looking for a second chance somewhere, and someone's going to give it to you. But you had a better opportunity with Detroit because of how the team they had.
So what do you think about this? So here's something how the NFL.
I love cheeseburgers too.
Yeah. Here's something the NFL could do to remedy a little bit of this for teams. Okay, so we give each team 2 exemptions, and at the end of the season, and in between that season and training camp, if a player messes up and does something bad, until we know the results, then they get to use one of those exemptions where for 2 years, that if they release a player, that no other team can sign that player unless they give up a draft pick to be able to do that. And that way, if it comes out where the player didn't do something that we say they were going to do, or if it's not as bad, then that team has the opportunity to bring that player back to the squad, but it doesn't penalize them for that time where they're going through the trial and the period for the 54-man or 53-man. Is it 54, 53 man roster?
53. Yeah, 53.
You should know that, but
yeah, coach, you got to know.
Yeah, But also, okay, so here's
I always have an extra guy who's a gopher. He goes for burgers.
Okay, so here's a stat though. The average arrest of all 4 major sports in the country, NFL has 47, NBA has 22, MLB has 17.5, and NHL has 2.5. So 2.5.
Yep.
Where's it going wrong for the NFL? Because they have double the second. Like what's going? Why is that stuff happening? Is it too much? Is it too much money? Is it just not worried about the fines?
How many players? That makes a difference in that stat.
That does.
That's the average. That's still
no, I mean, coach brought up a good point. How many players you look at teams and stuff like that. We're talking 53-man rosters compared to how many average players. How many players are on an NHL team at any given time? You know what I mean? And on top of that, we're talking about completely different sports. And it's funny that you bring this up because I watched a video about this earlier where somebody was breaking down this exact stat, and they were talking about the difference between NFL to NBA to MLB to NHL players. And NHL teams tend to have the least amount, but it's also one of the most expensive sports to grow up playing.
It is, but also it's you also make the least amount of money. So they know they can't blow their money on the fines like the NBA and the NFL.
Yeah, players. And they get to fight it out on the rink.
That is very true. You got a lot of anger and all that stuff. You can drop the gloves and beat the hell out of someone and not get in trouble for it. So they do get the chance to take it out.
Yeah. And at the same time, like we could bring up a bunch of different things like possible CTE and stuff like that. And, like NFL has a lot, but if I was talking about CTE, I'd also go right to NHL because that's the second most physical sport in America. You know what I mean? Like NBA soft. I mean, like nobody's really getting hurt in NBA. They're just faking it. It's flopping. And baseball, like you rarely, unless you pull an oblique or do something weird or it's something else, you're not really getting hurt. So it's not really a CTE issue. But NFL, there is a long history of CTE because these kids have been playing since kids. I say kids because I'm an old ass man now, but yeah, these guys have been playing since they were kids. So that's a long time getting your head beat in. And I understand this a little bit from my years, as a professional wrestler. Jason could probably attest to this. We've had our brains freaking popped around in our heads quite a bit, and I still have issues remembering things sometimes. And I'm sure that's an element of that. And I can only imagine if you're playing football your whole life. Yeah. But the Zebra Crew just brought up a good point. He said, how about players just don't be dumb and end up in this mess? Yeah. Like that's the biggest point there overall. Yeah. Like you're making millions of dollars. Why are we doing stupid shit? You know what I mean? It's
right. And the reason why I bring up the number of players is because, let's compare cities in Missouri. All right. Kansas City, St. Louis, yeah, we're gonna have a lot of crime. There's a lot more people. If you when you add Springfield or you add Joplin in, all of a sudden the crime rate will drop for the entire state, and because there's fewer people there. And I think with so many players, and let's think about it, with that many players, you've got that many more front office staff, you've got that many more on your marketing team. There's a lot for NFL teams to keep track of. And the players sometimes aren't the highest priorities. I mean, you look at their practice facilities. Kansas City, we've been winning all these Super Bowls, but our training facility gets a D ranking from the players. So the players aren't getting the 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 greatest uh,
There's
portion of attention placed on them. I think that with more players, there's more opportunity for shenanigans and things like that. Where you got smaller teams like an NHL team or something like that. I mean, gosh, those guys are already a little banged up when they come in. Go in there and they're missing teeth and,
yeah, this
and
guy's
they're
take a beat.
they're a different type of person anyhow. So I just think that, and college sports, I mean, there's just so many things that go into that when you're talking statistics. Because I'm a numbers guy, you got to look at everything rather than just throw out, a statistic. Okay, what goes into that statistic? I like to dig deep into those types of things. In fact, something I might do after the show.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I never thought about it that way because yeah, NFL teams are a lot larger than what
Yeah.
NHL teams or even MLB teams
And they play
are.
fewer games, so there's a
Yes,
lot of free time where they're not being watched or observed or participating.
correct. And there's a lot of money rolling around. When
That's
you got a
right.
lot of money, sometimes people do stupid stuff, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Or they think that they're more powerful than what they are and they can get away
And
with
these young
more.
players only get their checks during the season.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
off season, they're not getting any money.
No.
Unless their contract is set up that way, but most aren't. And so, so sometimes they get out and think a little differently in the off season.
Yeah, no, 100%. So now moving on from that subject, that's a little bit of a downer. We're talking about, NFL and their issues with certain players causing issues and, facing jail time, stuff like that. It's a part of history. You know what I mean? We've been watching it for years. But moving on to some positive stuff, and you brought this up a little bit earlier, Taylor Swift being a Kansas City fan, and I got to bring this up, Eric, shut your damn mouth. That's all I got to say.
Just
How
shake it off, baby.
and I remember the last time you were on the show, I specifically, when you did that drop, and I wore my Swift t-shirt that day, but how amazing has it been for Taylor Swift to become a Kansas City fan? And,
Yeah.
a lot of people down on her and a lot of people were, talking a lot of shit saying like it's just too much attention on Taylor Swift, whether the game, stuff like that. But think about it in a positive light about how
Yeah.
many families got together and started watching football after that. How many daughters
Yeah.
of fathers became fans
Yeah.
of football that are now sitting around the TV on Thursdays, Sundays, Monday nights that are
Yeah.
watching football now because Taylor Swift is a part of this? How many new fans has she brought to the sport and
That's
how it,
right.
Four.
And listen, she's worth $2 billion. I
yeah,
mean, the Hunt family's worth like $24 billion, I guess, or something like that. But she sits with the people. She's not up in the owner's booth. She's not up in the luxury booths, where the people that, yeah, she's in a booth. But I mean, she's right there with the people. If you know Arrowhead Stadium, I mean, you can reach out and touch people because they're that close to where Taylor Swift sits. And so it's exciting to see her there cheering. It's a genuine person that's cheering, and I get it. I think it's really cool. It's brought a lot of attention to the Kansas City Chiefs. It's actually taken a little bit of attention off of having a 6-11 season when you've got a big wedding that you're planning for, and so it's
yeah.
been a little bit of a distraction at times when we needed a distraction.
But at the same time, it was a huge thing even during their last Super Bowl run when they
Yeah,
actually hit the Super Bowl because her flying back from, I think she was flying back from Japan to
yeah,
actually make it back in time to be able to actually watch the Super Bowl
absolutely.
and watch her and Travis. And,
Yeah,
speaking of Travis, how excited are we to have Travis coming back right now?
yeah.
Like,
He's
he-
washed up. He's done.
oh, shut
I
up.
don't think.
Trash.
I think he's got 2 years. I think he's going to play two years.
Yeah, I believe it too. Like the guy, he looked good last year, Eric. As much as you doubt on him, like the guy looked good. He was in the best shape of his career. And this is a guy, and I got to give him much respect because, like, honestly, Travis could walk away from football right now and make more money doing everything else. I mean, he's got his podcast. I mean, obviously, we know New Heights. They're making a ton of money off of that with all the other things.
You're going to
the
get a suit. Don't
commercials.
bring that up.
No, I'll bring them new. I'm giving them props. You know what I mean? They're not going to sue us. Shut the fuck up. But like,
I hope they sue you so you hate Travis Kelce.
they ain't going to get much out of me. But you know, with everything that he's going on, he could act. He's been in shows. He's been in movies. I mean, Happy Gilmore 2. He had a hilarious role in Happy Gilmore 2. I mean, the bear just eating honey off of his chest. You know what I mean, that was freaking hilarious. But like, he could do so much more. But to stick with the team and, you know, come back and play a couple more years, because I do feel like he's got at least 2 more years in him. I know he's getting up in there in age, but like, are you as excited as I am to see Travis Kelce come back?
I am. And the reason why I think he's got 2 more years is after this season, he's going to be getting close to Tony Gonzalez's numbers. He's got 15,000 yards, you know, receiving yards, you know, Tony does. And so I think Travis is going to look at that and say, man, if I play 2 more years, I got a chance of passing Tony, and then there will be no question that I'll be the greatest tight end to ever play the National Football League ever.
No, I'm right there.
What did he do in the playoffs? He started passing all the Jerry Rice's records. And so now, you know, he's got the regular season he's got to go after. And fortunately for him, his body is held up. I mean, if Gronkowski's body had held up, I mean, he might have been the greatest tight end ever. Who knows? But he just couldn't, his body couldn't take it. And part of that is because Kansas City's been smart, like Blake Bell, to bring some blockers in and take a little bit of that load off of Travis Kelce down the field.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. And I do feel like he's got about 2 more years left. And with him signing this year, that also kind of told me that Patrick Mahomes is a little bit closer to coming back than a lot of people anticipated, even though like my co-host here to the left of me is a true Patrick Mahomes hater. Eric is now in the chats telling me to shut up. You know, he's a true Patrick Mahomes hater, but watching this guy,
3, other ACL torn.
No,
done.
it's not going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Coach already told you they've already hooked him up with all the biotics.
Almost Andy Reid. This is an Andy Reid. Reality, Tim. Reality.
No, reality is so, Coach knows the real Andy Reid. He's met Patrick Mahomes. Like you just saw Patrick Mahomes a couple weeks ago. You said, right?
That's right. Yeah, and you know, I read on the way up to where I was going last week. I read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and I slept in a Holiday Inn Express, and so I think I'm ready to, even if he does have another tear, to rebuild it, and he'll come back even stronger than that. He'll be the old $6 million. He's a $6 billion man coming up there with the way he's investing his money.
Yeah,
Jason, can you highlight the last comment?
Yeah, what did he say, Eric? You're saint for
100%.
Saint Bernard.
That's fine too. That's fine too. You're not wrong. Trust me.
No, so
like my first job makes me drink. Now this one's making me drink even more.
Oh, good.
Let's
have a drinking game every time we mention Patrick Mahomes. You take a drink.
I'd be drunk in 5 minutes.
Okay, we'll finish it out here strong.
The funny thing, Coach, the funny thing is last week it got brought up on the show from one of our comments, Scott, which we just happened to be missing in the comments this week because he knew we would be talking a lot.
I think he's floating around here.
Yeah, he knew we'd be talking a lot of Chiefs talk, and he's just a hater too. But he brought up every time I would talk about Isaiah Pacheco coming to the Lions.
Yeah,
you know, we'd have to put $1 in a.
There's another one. So where's your jar at? Where's your jar?
We got to get a jar now for every time I talk about Isaiah Pacheco coming to the Lions, because that's a move that excited me as a Lions fan, was having Pacheco come, because I've always been a huge fan of Pacheco, and I think he's really going to shine.
Andy Reid don't like him.
Yeah, you're not a fan of Pacheco?
I was, until he injured his knee, and he's just not been the same since he got injured.
Yeah, I mean that's very true, but I think he's going to have a standout season with the Lions this year. I mean, as a fan of both teams, the one thing that I know is the Lions is a little bit more of a running team. They have a little bit more a run-orientated offense as compared to the Chiefs. I mean, when you have Patrick Mahomes, you don't need to worry about running the damn ball unless he takes it himself. You know what I mean?
The way that he runs the ball with Dan Campbell as his coach. Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, I can see him get all excited and go and pound a few players. Yeah, I think he'll be on angry runs probably a few times this
Yeah.
season,
Yeah.
with Kyle Brandt.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that move, and like, yeah, like I have to get something to put my dollar in every time I
100%.
bring up about him
You gotta
because
throw like
and
20
Yeah.
in it first
and
now.
I got to order him a Pacheco Lions jersey.
I just hope you don't use him on 3rd and short.
Oh,
It
we'll use
ain't
him.
gonna happen, baby.
We'll get him. We got a different offensive lineup here in
Yeah.
Detroit, Coach. Like this
We
offensive line, I'm excited
struggled.
about. Yeah, but you
Thanks to
get
Kareem Hunt.
yeah. Yeah, like I think it's going to be a little bit different in Detroit. That offensive line
Alright.
is built for the run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Compared to,
So
I
are
mean,
we in Kansas City. It's just those dang RPOs. How do you know what your quarterback's gonna choose? I mean, now with the enemy back, we're gonna see fewer RPOs, and you're gonna see that offensive line in Kansas City downfield blocking for K9, man. It's gonna be exciting.
that's a good point. Let's bring that up real quick with the enemy coming back. How excited are we about that? Like that is a name that I'm excited to see myself personally back in
Oh,
Kansas
yeah.
City.
Yeah, to have him back, I mean, that's fantastic because everybody saw the discipline drop when he left, and we all knew that that's what he was about. The fact that he is embraced by Patrick Mahomes, embraced by Travis Kelsey, knowing that he's going to be a hard ass on him, is really cool to see because that's the leadership of your team, and that tells all the other players, don't worry, we're going to be back on track. And it's going to be really exciting. You're going to see a lot more, like Derek McKinnon. You're going to see a running back fill that role, where we'll have some running backs that are going to get a lot of yardage in the air.
Which, speaking of that, the signing of Kenneth Walker III.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, that's exciting. I mean, besides Kareem Hunt, who was a beast when he came onto the scene in Kansas City, and then he had his issues, and wasn't with us. We haven't had anybody like that since then. Pacheco's great, but he has no vision. You really have to put a hole there for Isaiah to really get out there and be exciting. And then once he hits the secondary with those knees flying, I mean, the way that those guys have to tackle him, the way he runs. I mean, of course, last year, I don't think he even had a run over like 30 yards with the Kansas City Chiefs. So, I think that K9's going to have some big breakout games and will be the team now that has that one or two plays that you'll see that will win a game because we brought him into the lineup. That's going to take a lot of pressure off Mahomes, too.
Yeah, 100%. Him, teamed up with
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt. And when this whole thing came up and I saw that he got traded to the Chiefs, I had put a
Yeah.
video out actually where I said, Detroit Lions, contact the Chiefs. I actually thought, they would go after Kareem Hunt, but they went after Pacheco. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
now you're left with Kareem Hunt and Kenneth Walker III. Like that's a hell of a duo, to be honest.
Well,
You know what I mean? On the
I don't
Chiefs.
think Kareem Hunt's going to be on the team
You don't think
uh,
so?
this season. No, I think that they've got a couple of backs there that they really, really like. That draft pick that we had in the 3rd round, I think that kid is from Nebraska. That kid's going to be something else.
That could be. We'll have to see how those chips fall because I haven't heard anything about Kareem Hunt re-signing with the team, but I
Yeah,
wouldn't
no,
be
I think
surprised.
he's doing a gardening uh, show now or something like that.
Oh, okay. I'll have to subscribe
Yeah.
to that and watch that because I've always been a Kareem Hunt
Yeah,
fan.
no, I don't think we'll see him back, unless it's like, we'll have number 10 running down the field midway through the season. Maybe somewhere later on in the season when we need a 3rd down back, if one of our
Yeah,
backs get injured, we
yeah.
bring him back in.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see about that. But
Yeah,
so leading up to this season right now, obviously we know Mahomes is on track to start a lot earlier in the season than what
yeah,
most people thought that he would. Obviously, we saw
yeah,
him, during OTAs and stuff like that, playing with the team.
yeah.
How are we feeling about this season, Coach?
Oh my gosh, I think people better better buckle up because I don't think there's going to be any messing around this year, especially with Bieniemy back. I don't think people remember the numbers that Patrick Mahomes was putting up with Bieniemy against Jacksonville with Tyreek Hill, which I believe Tyreek Hill will be back with us mid-year. I mean, let's not forget the first quarter. Tyreek Hill had almost 250 yards receiving. And if Andy Reid hadn't tempoed down the offense, Patrick Mahomes would have set a record on that game that no one would have ever broken. Because, I mean, all he had to do was, I think, throw 450 some yards or something like that. But yeah, so I mean, it's going to be exciting this year. We're all excited here in Kansas City. The Matt Nagy era is behind us. I love Matt. Matt's a great guy, but I just think that he was too friendly with the players. And these players require a little discipline that they're going to get out of Bieniemy. And Bieniemy, by being at other teams, he's had a lot of growth. I think that even makes him more dangerous for other teams as an offensive coordinator. Even though we know that Andy Reid is the one that's drawing up the plays and having a lot to do with calling the plays. I still think that you're going to see Bieniemy be very important to this next second part of our dynasty run.
So we know the offense is kind of tightened up and stuff like that with Bieniemy being back, and you always got Spags. We lost a few players in that secondary last year to the Rams, and the Rams are looking pretty scary this year. Especially
they bought a championship before. They're trying it again.
Yep. Are we going to see a Chiefs Rams Super Bowl this year?
Yeah, I think that's a real possibility. I mean, I think in the NFC, I mean, the Rams are going to be the pick for just about everybody. But AFC, oh, man, there's so many big rivalries in the AFC, even if it's not the Chiefs. We all know that's not going to be Buffalo. We all know the teams it's not going to be.
my wife's gonna curse your name right now because she's
a
Josh Allen fan. My wife loves Josh Allen and those squishy
she can
cheeks.
Curse my name for 13 seconds. 13 seconds.
We all know a 13-second game right there. Patrick Mahomes can do crazy things. But
I can't wait for. I cannot wait for week 3 when he gets hurt.
Oh.
Hey, well, you saw who we drafted, Nussmeier, and then we've got Fields there. You're going to see a little wildcat with Fields out there on the field this year, and you'll see they'll pull Patrick Mahomes out when we get down in goal line stance sometimes this year. So just be ready for some of that changeup.
That's a huge addition because I've always said, as a fan of the Lions and really paying attention to the NFC North, I always thought Chicago should have never got rid of Fields. I was a fan of Fields. I thought he was really good. I know he didn't really stand out in Pittsburgh a whole lot, but I think there's a lot of talent there that I think that the Kansas City can take advantage of. Yeah. And I'm excited to see what he does there. And I think that would be, a position to kind of take a little bit of weight off of Mahomes is back to be able to put him in those positions to be able to handle that. And I think he's built to handle that because he was exciting to watch in Chicago. I was really surprised to see him move on from that. But I'm still, I'm a part kind of a small Rams fan because I'm a Stafford fan. You know what I mean? I've always been a Stafford fan growing up,
He's amazing.
Yeah. Stafford.
When he's on, he's unstoppable.
Yeah.
Growing up? What? You're a grown ass man when Stafford was Detroit. Growing up, where are you? How many beers have you had today?
I've had a few beers.
I'm not
gonna lie.
Come on, Stafford played 20 years in Detroit?
He's played like 20 years. I was like 22 years old. I was still growing up. Like I don't know when you think you're grown, Eric, but you're not even grown yet. I understand your hairline says that you're more grown than what you are, but you're not grown yet.
That was so.
And
clever.
let's talk about your hair, by the way. I'm getting a lot of complaints online. Are you bald or you're not fucking bald, dude? Like, figure out where you're gonna be.
Complaints at YouTube. They're not on Facebook.
They're all over. They're all over TikTok.
Everyone's complaining about you talking about these damn Kansas City Chiefs.
Keep the hair or lose the hair. Like the every time I do a promo, I don't know what to add.
Your eyes are getting fucking. Why is one eye hot? Like
Jason has accepted the bald life.
You have a lazy eye.
Get there.
You got lazy eye when you get drunk.
No,
I
Hey,
think
do look at it. Do you not see it?
I think
Look
you
in
should
the
get a
camera, you can
fade.
see it.
Maybe get a fade there, and let it grow
I'm
out
thinking
a
of
little bit on the
I'm
top.
thinking of
No,
Hogan
then
skull.
I'd look like Tim, and I'd look like a retard.
No, a Hogan. I'm thinking of Hogan skullet. That's what you need to grow. Right
I'd
there.
look like a
Shave
giant
the
thinking of
top,
a
keep the
hoagie right
sides.
now.
I've
yeah.
thought about doing the old man horseshoe.
Do it. Do it. Like just grow the side. Do the
Can
Hogan.
you do your golf so we can get this over with?
Yeah.
The Chiefs is killing me.
No, the Chiefs.
It's just I'm gonna die aboard.
I love all the Chiefs hate on this show.
Yeah, and that's
I'll
fine.
Standing
Hey,
behind them 100%.
Week 3.
They only hate us because they ain't us.
Oh, here
Exactly, Coach. I'm right there with you. Jason, do you have anything to add with the NFL? You've been quiet for a while, brother.
we go. Yeah, because me and him been trying not to blow our brains out.
Yeah.
No, man, I just really enjoyed this episode this week. This has been a lot of fun.
It makes 1.5 of us. So a half have and a half not.
Well, I make up the other half with my size.
Yeah.
Okay, cheeseburger man.
That's right.
I can't argue about
There we
cheeseburgers.
go.
Can't argue about
That's right.
cheeseburgers.
I'm not big red. I'm bigger red.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, especially with Andy losing all that weight right now. Like
That's right. That's right.
it might be
Yeah,
your new slogan there, Coach. Go by
Yeah,
bigger.
yeah. And Manjaro, give me a call, baby. I can be your spokesperson. Okay, come on.
100%.
Yeah, you need to chug that to deal with this episode.
Jason's dived into the Bacardi.
Are you off work already?
No,
Oh, okay. Never mind.
no.
I thought maybe you took a couple PTO days because I'm like, 4th of July's right around the corner.
I tried and they denied it. So
them bastards.
I got 2 more nights, and then I'm off for the
Sounds
weekend.
like Buffalo every time we play them in the playoffs.
I got one more day of work, then I'm off.
They tried and we denied.
And guess what? Tim's got to work until Friday because he is a bitch.
I work till Friday. Jason, yes, Coach, 100%. They try, we deny. Like, boom. Jason,
Well, to be honest with you, I am so sick of people talking about Josh Allen. Oh my gosh.
I'm sick of people talking about Patrick Mahomes, mainly the guy to my right.
we gotta love it. If I had the other camera right now, I would just center. I mean, you could kind of catch it out the
I'll throw it away
right there.
I'll throw it away.
But Jason, you want to hit my cue there so I can hit my golf
Please.
segment for the week?
Get this hell over with.
It's that time of the show. It'll be sweet and short. Here's Tim Sheridan with the 2-man don't score.
This is Tim's 2 minutes golf report brought to you by the Sports World
That music was
Podcast
getting
on
you going.
PFC Entertainment Network. It is catchy, Coach. It is very catchy. But this past week we had the Travelers Championship, which ended in awesome fashion, I have to say. Sunday night, it ended with a tie, so they had to go to a 1-hole playoff on Monday morning, but it was between Victor Hovland and Scotty Scheffler, and Victor Hovland ended up winning this thing. So what is going on with Scotty? I'm not quite sure. He's won once this year, but he has not been able to get back to that winner's circle. He's had a lot of top 3 finishes. He's been right there, but Scheffler's just missing something at this point. But in 3rd place, we had Colin Morikawa, the shortest player on tour. Jason, when we saw him last year, I was very surprised on how small this guy actually was. He's like 4'3", but like he was a tiny human being. I was very thrown off about, and especially as far as he can hit the ball. Like this guy is very tiny. We saw him at the Rocket last year. 4th place, we had Matt Fitzpatrick. In 5th place, we had a 2-way tie between Batia and Wyndham Clark, who won the U.S. Open last week. So for him to come back with a top 5 finish was pretty impressive. 7th place, we had Alex Fitzpatrick. This guy's been hanging around that top 10 since he won that tour card this year. So, I mean, he's the brother of Matt, and he has been shining since then. JJ Spawn got back up into the top 10 this week with a 7th place finish also, along with Connors. And then we had a 2-way tie in 10th place with Ben Griffin and McIntyre. This next week, we're looking at the John Deere Classic coming up. We'll have to see who. I didn't look up to see who is favored to win this thing yet, but we will find out here pretty soon. And I am excited. You know, we're only about a month away from the somebody just said, Scott, are you done messing with Tim off the Zebra Crew account? I figured it was, if that's Scott, I said that earlier when Eric came into the room. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is fucking Scott on the Zebra Crew thing. So if that is Scott, like I called 100%. Do you agree? Like I said that to you as soon as you came in. He's shaking his head. I was like, this has to be Scott messing with us right now. That was
Just
Tim's
got
2 minutes
blown out
golf
of the water.
report brought to you by the PFC Entertainment Network. on
Well,
the
that's
Sports
2
Reel
minutes I'll
podcast.
never get back in my life.
Coach, you gotta hang with me with the golf. Come on now.
Now, how long do you think you want? How long do you think you want?
How long did I go, Eric?
How long do you think? Give me a number.
I 1 minute 57.
2:11.
2:11. I went slightly
Yeah,
over
I
2
was
minutes.
gonna
But
say
Coach,
15.
I
Yeah.
was on a golf show last week. Good golf.
you were on Good Golf.
Yeah, look it up.
I will have to look that up because I am a big fan of Good Golf and all of YouTube Golf, and I think they're changing golf in,
Yeah.
they are doing so much for golf, especially
Yeah.
with the youth of golf in America right now. Like they're helping grow the sport. So I'm excited to see that you're on Good Golf, and you should have brought that up, Coach.
What
that's
was
huge.
it called?
Well,
No, it's
I
Good
didn't bring
Golf.
it up because I thought this was a sports show.
Oh, come on,
Yes.
Coach.
Yes.
Patrick and Travis are both huge golf fans. Come on now, get on the page. Those guys both go and play every year. Those guys are awesome
Yeah.
at golf.
Yeah,
Actually,
I yelled
Patrick's-
4 was when I walked into a town topic and told them I want 4, burgers.
Yeah. Patrick's actually pretty good at golf. Travis isn't
He
bad
is. Well,
himself.
any elite athlete's going to be good at any sport they try.
They are.
Look at Michael Jordan. He played baseball
And he was a good
for
golfer. too.
Chicago.
Yeah. And he's also a very good golfer, bringing up golf. You
That's
know what I
right.
mean? But Scott, damn you. I knew that was you the whole
He's a
time,
good
Scott.
better.
Yeah. Scott, like 100% I knew that was you the whole
Scott
time.
missed the whole episode.
I
dude. I don't know
said
what you're
that
talking
to Eric as soon as he walked into the room.
about. Scott missed the whole episode.
I
He was
muted
okay
our
with it.
mics and I said, I'm pretty sure this is Scott fucking with us right now through this whole thing. But anyways, Coach, it has been amazing. Absolutely amazing to have you on the show this week. Like you have been an awesome guest. This has been one of my favorite episodes that we have ever done. In that aspect, Coach, can you let everybody know where they can find you and what you got coming up in the future here?
That's right. Don't do hashtag fat man. I don't know what you're going to find if you do that.
Whoa.
But almost Andy Reid is when I go by, and you can find me. By the way, if you have a fantasy football team and you want somebody to either roast a player or do your draft, you can find me on Cameo at / almost Andy Reid. And seriously, I'm up there in August. I'll be right there in the top 10 with John Gruden and Frank the Tank and all those guys on Cameo for fantasy football. I'll give you the real deal, baby. I'm not just calling out numbers, baby. You better watch out if you book me.
100%. So, Coach, I'm going to personally I'm going to stay in touch with you because I want to get you back on during the NFL season because this
Okay.
was a lot of fun.
God.
And I need somebody who can back me up with some Chiefs talk because these two losers.
Better be before week 3 because
Yeah.
he's going to tear his ACL. He's going to be done.
I've got
at
plenty
least-
of fingers left, guys.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
got lots of work to do.
Yeah, I got this loser to the left of me who just has no belief in the Chiefs. So I need somebody who can back me up. So I'll stay in
Hey.
touch. We'll get you back on.
Love it.
Other than that, we got next week, July 7th at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. We got Abe from Detroit joining the show. You can find him at the Holy Podcast, also at Abe from Detroit or Abe from DET on TikTok. These guys are awesome. I'm sure you've seen them on Fox 2 News, everywhere else. This guy's amazing. I can't wait to have him on the show. It's going to be another fun one. We're going to get into a lot of Detroit sports next week, so be prepared for that. Other than that, please, if you're on TikTok, and I know TikTok's not doing a damn thing to help us push anything anymore because they're really just pushing their promote feature, please follow us. We are giving away this autographed and authenticated Kirby Joseph mini helmet on the show as soon as we hit 1,500 followers.
Good thing it's
we
not
will-
a Terran Arnold helmet.
Very true. I almost bought one of those. Thank God I didn't. But we're giving away the Kirby Joseph autographed mini helmet, and we'll be doing that live on the podcast as soon as we hit 1,500 followers. And if you're on Facebook, keep an eye out because we will be purchasing something here very soon to be giving away on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, follow us there also.
It's a
you can-
given. Once you push this content out, it's a given. You will have lots of followers. I can feel it already.
I can feel it too,
In
Coach.
fact, when
I'm
you
a
get to
believer.
100,000, I want you guys to have me up there for a Detroit-style pizza. Ooh.
We will do it.
Yeah, we'll do that.
We'll do it.
100%.
100%.
Do it in the studio.
Yes.
All right.
In the studio. I have a nice seat right here. And right
Okay.
now it's just holding this cooler, which happens to be a
Oh,
Kansas
look at
City
that.
cooler.
Look at
Yeah.
that. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, that
it's
seat's
just,
cooler than the other one.
yeah, it very much
Whoa. This fucking guy.
is. But Coach,
This fucking guy.
Coach, I appreciate you, man. Eric's muting my mic. I appreciate you. This has been one of the funnest episodes we've done. You've been awesome.
Can't
and like
say
I
the
said,
same.
I will. Of course, I got to have the hater. And that's why I'm so excited to have you on the show, Coach, because I need some love when it comes to Kansas City love here in the studio.
You see that name I put up there? Hey, we can take all the hate. I can make fun of myself. We can have a great time, guys.
Yeah, 100%. So we will do this again, Coach. I'll stay in touch. We'll get you back on the NFL season.
Kind of looking forward to it.
We can
All right,
prove
wait,
this bastard
Eric.
wrong.
Eric, I got to give you my mantra in life that really
God.
helps me. It's 4 words. It's just 4 words. You just say this every day, and you're going to have a better day. How about those Chiefs?
Hell yeah. Jason, you got any programming notes?
I counted the words. I want to make sure you got the number.
I do. Real quick programming note. This Friday in a YouTube exclusive episode, the next edition of the Fatal 4-Way, very special edition of the show where we count down the top 10 most patriotic pro wrestlers of all time. It was a great episode, and we're looking forward to that premiering this Friday at 6 p.m. exclusively on the PFC Entertainment Network YouTube channel. The only place you're going to see this episode. So be sure to check that out. And
remember the British Bulldogs? They wore their right under.
Well, you might have to get Coach on your show, Jason. It sounds like you might have to get Coach on your show.
Listen, there is a segment of the show where we look at the international stars, and the British Bulldogs were included in that. Absolutely.
A fun sport.
Yes, for sure. And be sure to check out the online store, pfcstore.printify.me, for all the latest merchandise of this show and all the other great shows on the PFC Entertainment Network. With that, go out this week. Have a happy and safe holiday weekend. We'll see you right back here next Tuesday for the Sports Reel Podcast live on the PFC Entertainment Network.
Let's go Tigers. And let's go Chiefs and Lions.
Don't ever say that again on this
Let's
show.
go Scotty fucking Scheffler.
That's okay.
Let's go Taylor Swift.
Yes.